Hey guys, welcome to Series World. Today I'm going to explain a romantic drama series called Playing with Fire from 2019. Turn on subtitles and spoilers ahead. The 8th episode opens with Gildardo and Eliseo dragging Fabrizio in front of the grave. Jorge is ready to kill him. Fabrizio tells him that he's a pitiful man because he can't have someone's heart with money. He also adds that if Jorge kills him, he'll haunt him till the end of his life. Gildardo tells him that they'll kill him either way. He then pulls Fabrizio up. Jorge tells him to give him his wallet. Fabrizio throws it in the grave. Jorge takes away his phone and breaks it too. He asks Fabrizio for his keys, but he tells him that they're in the car. While they're a bit distracted, Fabrizio takes this chance and takes the gun from Jorge. He then holds Jorge at gunpoint. Fabrizio finally manages to unarm the other two men. He then throws Jorge on the ground and starts running. Gildardo and Eliseo start running after him. Gildardo manages to shoot him once, but he keeps on running. Meanwhile, Andrea is waiting for Fabrizio. She calls his phone but can't reach him. While chasing Fabrizio, Eliseo steps on Gildardo's glasses and breaks them, which creates a problem for Gildardo. The scene cuts to Martina, who's talking with the church father. She expresses to him how lost she feels at this time. The father theorizes that Martina's mom's accident created a hole in her heart. The father suggests that she deal with these emotions by staying calm. Back to Gildardo and Eliseo. Gildardo gets a call from Jorge. He starts screaming at Gildardo for not being able to catch Fabrizio. Gildardo assures him that everything will be fine. Gildardo and Eliseo start following him by following the bloodstains Fabrizio leaves behind. Meanwhile, Andrea has come back to the house. She starts sobbing, thinking Fabrizio ditched her. Fabrizio is now resting for a while in the ditch. Andrea starts having pain in her lower stomach, and Luisa rushes to her. Back to Gildardo and Eliseo. Gildardo gets another call from Jorge screaming at him. Eliseo gets annoyed at Gildardo for taking the call, but he tells him to calm down. The scene changes to Jorge coming back to the coffee shop. He asks Poncho whether Fabrizio has come back. Poncho is confused as he thought Fabrizio was with Jorge, but Jorge tells him that he left Fabrizio at his house after telling him to come meet him later. Poncho notices that there's blood on Jorge's face. Jorge leaves the shop after telling Poncho to tell Fabrizio to meet him after he comes back. Back to Gildardo and Eliseo. They are getting stressed. Eliseo is complaining about going through this dense forest with his obese body, but Gildardo tells him to go through it anyway. Back to Jorge. A man has come to meet with him secretly in his office. He gives Jorge something secretive. Meanwhile, Poncho has gone to Fabrizio's house. He notices that Fabrizio's house lock is broken and the door is open. He then enters the house carefully. The scene cuts to a little boy walking up a hill. He manages to avoid the man guarding the house and manages to enter the house where Thiago is being held captive. Meanwhile, Poncho notices that all of Fabrizio's stuff is gone. Back to Thiago. He writes a note and instructs the little boy who is his student. Jorge has come to the place to meet with him. Jorge comes into the room and Thiago is alone. Jorge tells the guard to uncuff Thiago. He then tells Thiago that all the documents are ready. His one-way plane ticket has been bought too. Thiago asks what will happen to the children and Martina. Jorge reminds him that Martina is his business. He threatens him to do his job properly. Otherwise, it'll be very bad for him. While Jorge is talking, the boy is hiding in a corner. Back to Gildardo and Eliseo, they're still searching for Fabrizio. Eliseo tells Gildardo that Fabrizio might be dead already from bleeding out, but Gildardo insists on finding him dead or alive. Gildardo and Eliseo then climb down in the shallow river. Meanwhile, Fabrizio is also walking in the shallow river, but Gildardo and Eliseo then decide to get up from the river. The scene cuts to Luisa taking care of Andrea. Andrea requests Luisa to not tell Martina about her sickness. Luisa wants to say something about Andreas' sickness, but decides not to and leaves. The scene changes to Thiago and Jorge coming to the airport. Meanwhile, Poncho is calling Fabrizio but can't reach him. Back to Thiago, Jorge gives him the fake passport he made for him using Fabrizio's name. Thiago manages to pass through the security checkup. Jorge tells him to do the job in the airplane properly and watches him until he leaves. The scene changes to Poncho, who gets a call from Andrea. Andrea asks him whether he knows Fabrizio's location, but Fabrizio is not with him either. Andrea is worried whether he left her and changed his mind. Poncho assures her that that's not the case and he can assure her. He then promises to notify her if he knows anything. He then calls the police to file a missing persons report. However, he gets informed that he has to wait 48 hours before filing a report. After Andrea is done with the call, she sees that her pregnancy test comes back positive. Meanwhile, Gildardo and Eliseo are still searching for Fabrizio. They come closer to him, so weak Fabrizio hides behind a tree. Fabrizio tries to be alert, but because of the bleeding, he's extremely, and soon he loses consciousness. The scene changes to Martina coming into Jorge's room. Jorge pretends to be asleep, but Martina keeps on asking him why he blocked her credit cards. She reminds him that no matter what, she's still the owner of these lands. In the morning, while having tea with Andrea and Martina, Jorge reads the newspaper. In the newspaper, there's news about Fabrizio stealing $30,000 from Jorge and causing a scene in the airplane. Andrea is confused hearing this because there's no picture of Fabrizio in the newspaper. But Jorge tells her that he knew Fabrizio would do something like this. Moreover, Gildardo also warned him about Fabrizio. Hearing all this, Martina denies that Fabrizio could do something like this. Jorge tells her that he'll call the police. Martina tells him to instead talk with their accountant. Jorge also agrees that he should deal with his business himself. After Jorge leaves, Andrea wonders whether Fabrizio could really do something like this. Martina is also confused. But indeed, she doesn't know anything about Fabrizio. Even though he was a good employee, you can't be certain about people. The scene cuts to Fabrizio, who has regained consciousness. His memory is still hazy, but he jumps up and starts walking through the forest. Meanwhile, Poncho gets a call. He was asleep but got up and received the call expecting Fabrizio. But Andrea is the one who called. Andrea asks him whether he has any news about Fabrizio. But Poncho is also in the dark. Andrea informs him that Jorge told her that Fabrizio stole a bunch of money and ran away to Mexico. Poncho tells her that it's a bunch of lies, and her dad is weird. Andrea also agrees and can't believe Fabrizio would do something like this. Back to Fabrizio, he's still roaming in the jungle. Fabrizio hides behind a tree when he sees Eliseo and Gildardo in there. Eliseo tells Gildardo that Jorge will be very angry when he finds out that Gildardo lied to him. Gildardo replies that Fabrizio might be dead already, and if he isn't, he'll make sure of it. He then asks Eliseo about the car keys. While they're talking, Fabrizio tries to walk away secretly from there, but the noises from stepping on the dry leaves give him away. Eliseo starts shooting at him and they start chasing Fabrizio. But Fabrizio manages to run away by using his jeep. Fabrizio finds a gun in there and starts shooting at Gildardo and Eliseo. But Gildardo and Eliseo also get in their jeep and start chasing him. The scene cuts to Poncho finally filing a missing persons report to the police. The scene changes to Martina, who's crying while taking a shower. Jorge comes into the bathroom and sits beside her. He asks her why she is so sad over some insignificant thief. He then tries to pull her closer to him, but she denies him. He then tells her that traitors shouldn't go unpunished. In the morning, the little boy Mateo comes to visit Martina, but Luisa spots him and asks why he is there. Mateo tells her that he needs to meet Martina. Luisa tells her to tell what he wants to tell Martina and she'll say it to her. A police car arrives at the place, and Luisa tells Mateo to go home for today. Jorge comes out to talk with the police commander and Mateo runs away. Commander tells Jorge that Fabrizio is missing and whether he knows anything about this. Martina comes out after hearing Fabrizio's name. Jorge tells her to rest and he'll handle this, but the commander asks both of them to listen. Jorge tells him that Fabrizio was a weird employee. He used to come and go to work as he wanted. Jorge also adds that Fabrizio had issues with women. The commander suspects they're hiding something but leaves for today after telling them to notify them if they get any updates. After the commander leaves, Martina asks Jorge why he didn't tell the commander about the plane incident. She tells him that he's hiding something. Jorge gets furious hearing this and holds Martina by her hair. He screams at her face, saying he'll deal with his business himself. He then pushes her to go inside. Meanwhile, Gildardo and Eliseo are still chasing Fabrizio in their jeep. They keep exchanging gunshots with him but are not able to injure him anymore. That's how the episode ends. To watch more explanations of these kinds of series, click on the videos on your screen. And don't forget to let me know how you feel about today's video in the comments down below. And at last, thanks for watching.